I'm a 30-year-old guy named Darren, and I spent the last few months watching my relationship fall apart piece by piece. My fiancée, Maya, is 28, and we've been together for 4 years. We got engaged last winter, and for most of that time, I thought I knew who she was. She always prided herself on one principle: not my mess, not my problem. At first, I admired that. Maya had boundaries that seemed unshakable. If a coworker tried to hand off extra work, she would refuse without hesitation. When distant relatives asked to borrow money, she didn't feel guilty saying no. She believed in taking care of herself first and never carrying anyone else's weight. I used to think that kind of independence was strength, but I didn't realize that one day those boundaries would be turned against me. My younger brother Leo is 25. He's always been a hard worker, but life hit him all at once a few months back. His company laid him off, his girlfriend broke up with him, and his landlord decided to sell the property he was renting. Within weeks, Leo was out of a job, out of home, and eventually living in his car. I had no idea until he called me one night, his voice strained with shame, asking if he could stay with us for a while, just until he found work. Hearing him like that broke my heart. I told him I'd talk to Maya and get back to him. That night, I explained everything to her. Leo wasn't asking for money, just a couch for a few weeks while he got back on his feet. Her response blindsided me. "Darren," she said flatly, "your family's problems aren't my concern. If your brother can't manage his own life, that's not our emergency. This is my home too, and I don't want it disrupted." I tried to reason with her, explaining that Leo lost his job because of layoffs, not because he was irresponsible. But she just crossed her arms and said, "He should have had savings. Responsible adults prepare for at least 6 months without income." I couldn't believe it. "So you'd rather let him sleep in his car than let him stay on the couch?" "If you want to help," she said coldly, "book him a hotel. But he's not staying here. A hotel for a month would have cost thousands." Still, I stared at her and said quietly, "So I'm supposed to choose between helping my brother and keeping peace with you?" She shrugged. "I'm not making you choose. I'm setting boundaries. If you can't respect that, maybe we're not compatible." I swallowed hard and said, "You're right. My family isn't your concern." She smiled, kissed my cheek, and said, "Exactly. That's why I love you. You're reasonable." The next morning, I withdrew money from my savings and paid for Leo to stay at a budget motel for 2 weeks. It cost $1,400, but at least he was safe. When Maya saw the charge later, she frowned. "You actually paid for him?" I met her gaze. "My family, my problem, my money. Isn't that what you said?" She didn't reply. 2 weeks later, Leo landed a new job and found a room to rent. He bounced back quickly, and I thought that was the end of it. Then one night, everything flipped. At 2 a.m., Maya's phone started buzzing nonstop. It was her sister, Elena, hysterical on the other end. She'd been arrested for drunk driving after hitting a parked car. Maya leapt out of bed, panicking. "Darren, we need to go bail her out. Now!" I stayed sitting up in bed. "We? Yes, we. She needs us." I looked her straight in the eye. "Your family's problems aren't my concern. Remember?" She froze. "You're seriously throwing that in my face right now? My sister is in jail." "And Leo was living in his car," I said calmly. "He didn't choose that. Elena chose to drink and drive. If anyone deserves tough love, it's her." Maya's expression twisted. "You're being cruel." "No," I said evenly. "I'm being consistent. Your family, your issue, your money." She cursed under her breath, grabbed her purse, and stormed out. She didn't come home until morning, exhausted and silent. Later, I found out she had scraped together $1,500 for a bondsman. For the next few days, she gave me the silent treatment. Then on Thursday night, she made my favorite dinner, roast chicken, mashed potatoes, even pie. She poured wine, smiled sweetly, and said, "Babe, we need to talk about Elena's case. She's facing court soon, and she'll need a good lawyer." I thought maybe we could. I set my fork down. "You're asking me to help pay for it, aren't you?" Her smile faltered. "Darren, this affects my whole family. My parents don't have that kind of money, And Elena doesn't either. If we help her now, she'll get back on her feet. I interrupted her gently. Stop. Just stop. She blinked. What? Do you hear yourself? 2 months ago, when Leo was homeless, you said his problems weren't your concern. You told me to keep our home safe from his chaos. You even said maybe we weren't compatible if I disagreed. And now you wanted to help your sister because she's in trouble she caused. Her calm mask cracked. That's different, she snapped. How? I asked. Because it's your family this time. She slammed her fork down. She's my sister. She made a mistake. But she's still my family. You're supposed to care about the people I care about. I stared at her. And what about the people I care about? You didn't care about Leo. Why do I have to care about Elena? Her eyes filled with tears. You're so heartless. No, I said quietly. I'm just holding you to your own rules. That night, she slept on the couch. The next morning, she packed a bag and said she was staying with her parents for a few days. Before leaving, she said, I don't even recognize you anymore. I could say the same. I told her, partnership isn't one-sided. Her mother called later, telling me, family steps up for family, Darren. Elena made a mistake. She needs support. And when my brother needed support, I asked. Maya said no. Funny how that rule only works one way. She hung up on me. Over the next week, I got messages from Maya's relatives, and even one from Elena herself, calling Leo a screw-up and begging me to help. I didn't respond. When Maya came back, she looked worn down. I can't marry someone who won't stand by me when my family needs me, she said. You're right, I replied, but unity goes both ways. You didn't stand by me when Leo needed help. You can't demand what you won't give. She sat down, hands trembling. I don't know what to do. She's my sister. She's reckless, but she's my blood. If I don't help her, who will? Then help her, I said gently. Use your own savings. But don't expect me to fund it. Weeks passed. Maya drained her emergency fund on legal fees for her sister. Bills piled up. Her car broke down. Her independence started to crumble. One night, she snapped at me, This isn't fair. You should be helping me with this. We're supposed to share burdens. I laughed bitterly. Now you want to share burdens? Where was that when Leo needed a couch? She glared at me. Stop bringing that up. That was different. No, Maya, I said firmly, it's exactly the same. The only difference is whose family it is. 3 months after her sister's arrest, her resentment toward me had become impossible to ignore. The wedding was set for next summer, but I hadn't sent out invitations or made final payments. More and more, I caught myself staring at her engagement ring, wondering if this was really the life I wanted. Because here's the truth. I could live with someone who sets firm boundaries, but not someone who only enforces them when it suits her. I couldn't marry someone who preaches independence until her own family needs help, then demands my support. 2 weeks later, she sat me down again, tears in her eyes. Darren, I've been thinking. I can't be with someone who keeps score. I need a partner who stands by me no matter what. If you can't do that, maybe we shouldn't get married. I looked at her for a long moment. It's not about keeping score. It's about fairness. You can't expect loyalty only when it benefits you. She stared at me, then quietly took off the ring and set it on the table. I guess we want different things, she said, and walked out with a small suitcase. A week later, I got a text from Leo. Bro, I just signed a lease on my own apartment. Couldn't have done it without you. Reading it, I felt a calm I hadn't felt in months. Because I finally realized something. I'd rather give my loyalty to people who value it, not those who only remember when they're desperate. The engagement was over, but for the first time in a long while, I felt free.